welcome to UMT TV. My name is Manu Khan and this is the Lawyer's Desk. Today of this age, we all know that there are many capital, assets, and everything that is owned. But we all know that we own one thing in that capital-filled world. But can we say that that is ours? Can we safely say that? To back that up, to make it secure is the intellectual property rights. That law that keeps us safe, that keeps the asset safe and something that we can call ours. To discuss that, we have Sir Asad Abbas, an advocate and from the Advocate High Court and a legal expert for about 12 years. Thank you, sir, for joining us. So, sir, this intellectual property rights, can you provide a brief historic outline of how it was constructed and made?
If we talk about the intellectual property right, we have to go back to the 500 BC, and we have to talk about the Siberian state, which was a Greek state that time. First time in the history, intellectual property right were given to the inventor. They were granted 1 year protections, meaning thereby for 1 year they were there to take all the benefits of their invention. So later on we have in the history 1630 we have a Statute of Anne, then we have Statute of Monopolies, which provided protection to the inventor. When we talk about Statute of Anne, that provided not only protection to the inventor for the creation, but also give another way the inventor could have renewal of the protection for the next 14 years.
Okay.
So these were actually the historical background of the intellectual property right when they were first time given in the history. Later on, when there was a consensus between the nations that how a unanimous system could be invented so that if you have intellectual property right here in Pakistan, same should not be violated in the UK or vice versa, or how a unanimous and a uniform system could be invented. So in this regard, we have there are certain Paris conventions. We have to talk about Madrid Agreement. These all took place in 1826 and later on. So there was a uniform system, and after that, all the nations started practicing one way in which that their intellectual property rights could be exercised. When there was a Paris Convention, there was only some nations which actually signed these agreements. The nations who did not sign these agreements, in that country you could not exercise your intellectual property right.
Okay.
For example, if you have McDonald's here in Pakistan, and let's suppose that time if Pakistan was not a signatory of that agreement, here anyone can have a McDonald's open,
make another branch for it,
another branch without any hindrance. But now this is not possible. So now we have a uniform system, even though when we talk about that there is a one uniform system, but you need to indicate to the relevant authorities, you need to get yourself registered, meaning thereby if you have registered yourself in any product or in any domain in Oman or in UK or in any other country of the world, it doesn't mean that you have automatically a system which can protect you. You just need to intimate to the relevant authorities, look, I have this protection, like let's suppose regarding your trademark, you have protection given by the Omani authorities or UK authorities. Now I should be granted the same protection here.
Okay.
So they would be bound to give protection as per the law, which we will talk about later on in our discussion.
Of course. So is this applied to just tangible or intangible products or inventions?
Well, when we talk about intellectual property rights, that covers both of the things.
Okay.
In intellectual property rights, we have certain rights like regarding your trademark.
Okay.
Trademark may be in tangible form, like you have something which can be touched, which can be felt.
Okay.
But there are certain intangible, rights like
website.
Websites, like you have conceived certain ideas. You have put a formula how to make a medicine, which is protected by by a patent laws.
Or
This is
nowadays,
also
even a page, like,
even a
even a
page.
social, okay.
That is your creations.
Yeah.
So no, page is also in a tangible form.
Okay.
It may be a soft copy, but it can be felt or it can be seen. There might be certain which cannot be touched.
Okay.
That is in your mind. So we see that it covers both the ideas and the you can say the manifestation of your ideas. Both
Okay.
the things are covered by the intellectual property rights.
Okay, so how did Pakistan get into this? Like, when it first signed this law, what was Pakistan's observation of this law this time and at that time?
Well, initially there wasn't any awareness regarding these intellectual property rights in the ordinary citizen of our country.
Yeah.
But with the passage of time, people and the business community has
As it
realized that without getting it protected, you cannot save your earning, you cannot save your ownership. Like if you established a certain brand with your hard work, with your potential, with your ideas, and later on if I conceal your ideas and start having another shop, so it would be the violation. People get attracted towards the brand. Like if we talk about the gourmet, if we talk about any other brand in the market which is protected by the law, if the law had not been there, there might have been a lot of violations.
So are you saying like this law is like a key for development in Pakistan? Also one of the keys.
Yeah, in business community it is, and internationally, if certain other brands come into your country, they will think that how ease of doing business is there. Are their rights are protected? Are there any laws? Are there any court efficient to get your rights implemented or not? They will obviously see, because they are bringing a brands. If they start from the first steps, they need to develop their brand with a lot of hard work. But now if we see that there are many restaurants who have been working all over the world, they have their name, their history, their potential, their ideas behind them. And if they start having one outlet here, they just need to open it, and the very first day the people will rush towards having whatever items they are selling.
Yeah.
So this is the power of intellectual property rights. This is the power of the brand. You just need to open an outlet and people will start coming, and sale will start within no time. As compared to a new idea, people will see whether it's a new brand. We have to test it. We have to see whether it's up to the mark or not. So all these are
Quality
questions
checkups, yeah.
in the mind of the consumer, as compared to a brand which is if protected by the law as we have in our country. Then there are obviously a lot of benefits for the business community.
Yeah. So, sir, can you describe the sub-laws of this intellectual property rights? How it actually stamped in,
Yeah, I understand. There are certain statutes or ordinance which we need to talk about in this regard. First of all, we have to see there's a trademark ordinance,
Yeah.
2001. Then we see the Designs Act. Then we see the Patent Act. Then we see the Copyright Act 1962. So all these, law together actually are going to protect the right of inventor or any other writer or a songwriter or a producer or movie makers in different categories. We have to see if you have invented any formula. We have to see whether it has to be protected by the patent law or a copyright or a trademark. Similarly, we have other laws which are going to give protection and backing of law to the inventor.
Is there like a procedure there? Like...
Yeah, if you talk about registration procedure, like the intellectual property rights are not compulsorily to be registered, but if you get them registered, obviously you are going to have a lot of benefits. Like if you invent a web page on your FP ID, you are not supposed to go to a relevant officer or to the relevant registrar in order to get your page registered. You just need to write it, copyright protected, and that is your protections. But if you have got them registered in the office of the relevant authority, it will be easy to prove before the court whether it's your ownership or to the person who is actually claiming to have adverse claim against you. So that's very important. So now if we talk about the, specifically about the trademark, ordinance, there are certain forms, there are certain steps which we need to follow in order to get them registered. First of all, we need to fulfill the form which is called TM form
Okay.
5, which is actually required to send to the relevant authority to figure out whether this name is already
Is this
registered or
done
not.
by? Is this done online or like by an office or like? Is there?
It can be both ways. Certain documents need to be sent through, courier in the form of hard copies, but certain forms can be, applied online.
Okay.
So it's getting, more
Developed.
more accurate or more online with the passage of time. But there are obviously certain things which we need to, get it done manually.
Of
Like
course.
we need to sign certain documents before the concerned registrar. So for that reason, we have to be in the office of a particular officer. So we talk about, I was talking about the first step is to get availability of the name. The trademark, like if you are wearing a particular, if you are inventing a different brand or any name you have given to your product, you need to send an application to the registrar whether this name is already registered or not. They will reply you within a particular time, look, this name is familiar to a certain other names, and you have to distinguish your product and your invention, how it is different from rest of them. Then you need to send their certain specification on a certain page about your trademark. They will get it published in a gazette. If there is no opposition of the idea which you have invented, within a certain period of time, it will be, it will be registered in the office of office of the registrar trademark. But if there is some opposition, then you need to prove. There are one or two steps you need to send them your evidence. Look, this is my invention because I have been using this for so many years. They will bring with their own stance. Look, we have been using this one in another country. So after adjudicating or after taking into consideration all these evidence, the registrar or the relevant authority will decide whether it's yours or
Even if it's developed in another way, like.
in another way. So it has to be proved if in case of opposition. But if there is no opposition, then you just need to wait for your turn. It will be published into a gazette, and after a period of time, if there is no opposition, you will be given a certificate of registration of your trademark.
Okay, so thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time with another show of concerning law and its intellectual property rights. My name is Manu Khan, and this is UMT TV.